Isabelle Pettey. I, as have many of you, grown up with the beloved Disney tales, such as Dumbo, Aladdin, and even The Lion King, all getting a reboot in the upcoming years. A tale as old as time, first on the big screen in 1991, the creation of Beauty and the Beast took the longest of any other Disney movie to develop the plot. Walt Disney tried 2 times, first in the 1930s, when he couldn't quite figure out how to get the Beast to fall in love with a common girl. He gave up on the story and then tried again for a second time in the 1950s. Again, giving up and putting it aside. Walt Disney passed away and never got to see the end result of Beauty and the Beast. Roy E. Disney tried it for a 3rd time in the 1980s, again giving up. He passed the story along to songwriters who fixed the kinks, and it's now the beloved tale that we know today. It won 3 Golden Globes and was nominated for an Academy Award, and 26 years later, it has been made into a live action. In my speech, I'm going to discuss the creation of setting, costume, CGI, and the comparison of the original to the old. Setting. The original needed inspiration, but the live action needed both inspiration and a setting for them to act in. They built the set behind Shepperton Studios, according to the live action bonus feature section of the movie, in London, and took over all the surrounding buildings for things like vocal lessons, choreography for the dance routines, and even animating. A theatrical effect was wanted on this new live action, so that all the props and the setting was in eccentric detail. They also went to a nearby forest to film parts of the movie, such as Gaston's scene when he marches to the castle, Maurice's scene when he enters the castle, and Belle's scene when she's attacked by the wolves. They took inspiration from a French city to give the movie a more 18th century vibe. On to costumes and CGI, human movement for inanimate objects was really difficult. Dan Stevens wore a gray suit and stilts to give Belle or Emma Watson a more height difference, so it was easier to animate him later. At night, Dan Stevens, the Beast, would do night facial scenes where he would act, and even in scenes where he wouldn't be speaking, he had to have his face animated into the Beast. They did a rare table reading before the filming process began. Disney had not done that before, and they decided to sing the songs and actually dance the choreography. In the original, it took 120,000 drawings and 1,295 painting backgrounds to create the movie. In 2017, it took 1,700 visual effects shots to create to fill in the empty space of the animated characters. The most difficult scene to recreate was the VR guest scene, which took 2.5 years to make. They needed lighting that would reflect off of these characters that weren't even there. The costumes for Belle, the blue dress in the very beginning was the easiest to create. They needed something that was really practical for Belle because she loves horseback riding and is just very adventurous. So her skirt on the side is lifted throughout a majority of the movie to represent that, so her leg is easier to go over horses and all that jazz. The yellow dress, however, was the most difficult to create because the original dress had all the tulle and stuff that didn't make the movement as flowy as it was on the animated version. So they created the dress that we know in the live action. Comparisons. The first change can be seen in the opening scene with Belle as she's walking through the village. In the animated movie, Belle was supposed to be the only one wearing blue. Blue signifies beauty, strength, imagination, power, and integrity, all things that she acquires. Beast also was later to wear it to also signify how individualistic the two are. In the live action, however, they cast all of the characters and had quite a few blue moments show in the opening scene. So why make the changes? They needed to answer questions from the viewers. The prince, he needed a background as to why he was the way he was. We see his mother's death in one of the songs that they added. We get to hear that his dad was actually very abusive towards him and is why he has the wall that he does. He also is well educated in this movie, unlike in the original, and he's also depicted as a spoiled child. And there's a new song, Evermore, that shows the character development and his loss. Belle also had a few changes as well. She's more industrious in this one. She becomes part of an inventor like her father was originally depicted. The mom's backstory is given in a song as the Beast takes her to this hidden world in a book, and even her dad expresses some loss of the mother, and it explains how she came to the village. Maurice has a change in occupation. He was originally an inventor. Still an inventor in this one, but focused more on his life and the artistic style. The villagers also got changed. They are more connected to the castle objects. In the final scene, we can see the villagers reconnect with their loved ones as they become human again. Mrs. Potts also got a change. In the original, they wanted to name her Mrs. Chamomile, or I can't remember the other one. All these names were listed in the live action. When Chip offers tea to Belle, he asks if she wants oolong, chamomile, or many others. The smoke in the animated one was actually real smoke, and in the live action it was fully animated. LeFou also got a change. He is less of a punching bag. In the original, they said, anytime we can punch him, let's do it. So he's more self-aware in the live action and has a false worship in Gaston as he leads. And this leads him to have internal and external conflict. The stained glass in the beginning scene has been changed to actually acting it out. And finally, the Beast's animator in the original didn't want the Beast to become human again. That was rejected by the original filmmakers because you couldn't have a beast and a person together. So he requested that Belle asked him to grow a beard, which they declined the line, and it was later used in the live action. In conclusion, it was a very difficult story to retell, with lots of expectations by the viewers. But the process to get there was something quite original.
Okay.
Is this like your favorite Disney movie? Cool.
Yeah.
My name is Isabelle, and for years I was like,